Bernard Pierce was at it again in the beginning of this one. Let's see if his efforts paid off. OwlSports starts right now.
Hello and welcome to this week's edition of OwlSports Update. I'm Noelle Roby alongside Kyle Fisher.
Coming up, part 2 of our series, The New Coach on the Block. But first, the big bad Nittany Lions were in town with Temple looking to change some history. It's always the biggest game of the year for Temple football, a matchup with Penn State. But in the past, it really hasn't been much of a game. In fact, the Owls hadn't beaten the Nittany Lions since the fall of 1941, which was about 2 months prior to the attack on Pearl Harbor. And in fact, when you compare these two programs, look no further than the two head coaches. Temple coach Steve Addazio is 52 years old. He had 2 career wins as a head coach. And of course, 0-0 versus the Nittany Lions.
Now for Joe Paterno. He's 85 years young with 402 wins in his 46 years at Penn State. His record against the Owls is 27-0. And here's an interesting fact you may not know. Addazio was 7 years old when Joe Pa took as Penn State's head coach.
And now let's head over to Lincoln Financial Field. There's Joe Pa undefeated in his tenure against Temple. In the first, Penn State with the ball. Rob Bolden drops back and completes a pass to number 19, Justin Brown. He was a popular target on the day with 6 catches. To the ground, running back Silas Redd taken down by a gang tackle. Number 85, Markeith Brown trying to bring back the train dance. But on the next play, he comes up huge. Number 15, Matt Falcone knocks the ball loose, and Brown picks it up. Temple ball. Going the other way now. Mike Girardi hands off to Bernard Pierce, and he hurdles his defender. Whoop! Taken down for a gain on the play later on the drive. Girardi drops back, and he goes deep. Pass intended for Rod Streeter, but there's pass interference in the play. Now in the red zone, Pierce is king. He forces it in here for his 7th rushing TD on the year. Penn State ball. Bolden's pass to number 3, Brandon Beecham, complete. He picks up a few yards, but the entire Temple defense gets in on that one. For the most part, Owls did have that bend and not break mentality, and here's a missed field goal by Penn State. Temple does nothing on offense. PSU gets a rushing touchdown. Addazio changes under center. Joe Jones taken down in Penn State territory. Brandon McManus puts up 1, and well, it's good. That guy right there even knows that it's good. Stewart back again. Dumps one off to Pierce, who treated defenders like a track athlete running the hurdles. For the most part, the Owls made plays when they needed to. A blocked punt. Recovered by Temple as Shooter rips the ball from the hands of a Nittany Lion. But the Owls couldn't hold on to the ball on offense with the 4th quarter interceptions. And the last one hurts. Penn State ball, pass complete to number 8. Slammed it down. Penn State ball, pass, finally able to change the score. Touchdown 14-10. Last minute drive here. Joe Girardi gets taken, not Joe Girardi. Girardi fumbles the ball. Your Owls lose 14-10.
3 turnovers will get you beat in a game like that. We knew that. We wanted to get him into the 4th quarter. We did that. We wanted to fight him. We did that. But those 2 turnovers at the end, putting them on the short field, put our defense in too hard a situation to overcome. Told our team that we're not interested in close games. There's no moral victories. There's nothing. You play the game to win. We didn't win. That's the reason why we didn't win. And we got to get that fixed.
There's nothing like a good old-fashioned rivalry to help bring out the fan in you. Temple Penn State saw their 3rd largest crowd ever to watch a Temple home game. Updates John Mailer was there to take in the latest chapter against the in-state rivals.
Williams, touchdown!
This rivalry is the longest active series in Temple school history. Coming to this year's matchup, the Owls and Nittany Lions had met 40 times, with Penn State leading the series with 36 wins, 3 losses, and a tie. It's been 70 years since Temple has beaten Penn State. Back on October 18th of 1941, Temple shut out Penn State 14-0. Since then, the Owls have been on the losing end of the showdown. Over the past few years, the games have gotten closer between these two teams, with last year's game being decided in the fourth quarter. Even the fans from the opposing side have noticed Temple's improvement.
Definitely Temple's raising the bar, there's no question. I still think at the end of the day, Penn State wins the game, but Temple's raising the bar, no question.
Coming into this year's game, the Cherry and White faithful were confident that head coach Steve Adazio would be able to lead them to victory.
This guy is an offensive coach, and you know we have a good defensive team, and I think within a good offensive team, we have a really good chance today. If Bernard don't get hurt, I think we'll beat him.
Coming into his 28th matchup against the Temple Owls, head coach Joe Paterno said that this was the best Temple team that he had ever seen. Yet the Owls still remain unable to figure out the Lions while he calls the shots. As this in-state rivalry continues to build intensity, the anticipation for the next matchup builds up just as much. Reporting for Temple Update, I'm John Mailer.
Thank you, John. Even though Temple lost the game, you can see year after year the Owls seem to get a little bit closer. For example, the Lions were only held to 14 points, the lowest since 1978. This year, there was a 4-point margin of victory, the lowest since Penn State's 27-25 win in 1985. And the 10,886 students in attendance set a record for the most students at a Temple football game.
Well, it's time to take a break. We've actually got some info that doesn't involve a pigskin.
It includes our new Coach on the Block series and take a look at the face of the volleyball team. OwlSports Update, we'll be right back.
Here we go. What? What?
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent, because kids in foster care don't need perfection. They need you.
Turning a 20-foot wall into a canvas takes vision. So will getting into college. I've got what it takes. So do you.
Welcome back to OwlSports Update. Temple Field Hockey traveled to University City to take on the Drexel Dragons this past weekend. Late in the first half, Bridget Settles puts up long feed from Mandy Schreier and buries it into the... Can we start over? A little later, Settles blasts in the rebound to take a 2-0 lead, or so we thought. Officials wave off the goal. Late in the game, after Drexel ties it up, Temple sees an opportunity for a late goal. Inside, off the post. With 2 minutes left, Drexel's Amanda Felicia put it past a diving Lindsay Mullen for a 2-1 win. The loss drops Temple to a 3-5 for the season.
For the volleyball team, last season was not one to remember. The tough season ended with one key coach leaving and a new face stepping up to the role. OwlSports' own Seth Wozniak has the story.
The Temple volleyball team underwent some major changes this offseason. Not only did they recruit new players, but they added new coach, Bakir Gagnes.
I'm 32 years old. My playing career at the highest level ended 10 years ago due to injuries mostly. So I can't play anymore. Closest I can get to playing is coaching. That's one of the reasons I do this. So I have a lot of passion, a lot of love for this sport, and I want to transform that to my players as well.
He still wants to be playing and he wants to be in our shoes. That's like makes us want to play even harder for him.
He's sitting there like, I wish I could play, and like I want to beat these guys so bad, and then it just like influences us.
I'm really hands-on. I'm really particular about technique, how we do things on the court. I'm very, very precise, and I have high expectations to my players, and I'm pretty demanding.
A lot of times in drills where like several balls in a row, if you don't get like the first one, we just start right over. Like it's very like you have to be precise in like every single point and every single play that you do.
They're learning that it takes a lot of work and a lot of dedication to achieve those goals and to be precise.
You know, if I like mess up or if I do something wrong, like he never like yells at me or like gets really mad at me. It's always just like he is really like constructive in the way he like criticizes me.
With all of Gagne's experience, he hopes to take the volleyball team from last year's 4-25 record back to an NCAA competitor.
You see all these banners here? You know, we want to get at least a couple more of those.
Reporting for OwlSports Update, I'm Seth Wozniak.
Bakir Gagnez took his team to Pittsburgh Blue and Gold Invitational last weekend. The Owls lost 3-0 to the host Pittsburgh Panthers in the first round, but then rebounded to beat Morgan State in 3 straight sets. Temple took on powerhouse New Mexico and managed to win 1 set, but fell to the Lobos 3-1. Against New Mexico, Temple's Tiffany Conister recorded 44 assists and 11 digs. The team is 4-9 on the year.
Over the weekend, the men's soccer team flew down to Florida to participate in the Stetson Soccer Classic. Even without their leading scorer, junior Cody Calfrey, the Owls scored all the goals needed to a 3-2 victory over the Jacksonville Dolphins. In the final day of the tournament, the Owls then took on the Stetson Hatters. Even with a season high of 15 shots on goal, the Owls suffered a 1-0 loss. Their record is 3-2 overall.
Now, Noelle, I was on the sidelines for that Penn State game. It was pretty devastating, not only for me, but for my wallet. I had a lot.
I say we go in the nest. All right. For the second straight week, Bridget Settles gets the Atlantic 10 Player of the Week. She tied for 7th straight goals per game average in the country at 1.25. She's leading the Owls with 10 of the team's 15 goals this season.
Back to V-ball, Gabrielle Matuccia was named to the all-tournament team for the Pitt Blue and Gold Invitational. She had 2 double-doubles in the tournament and led all players with 11 kills and 10 digs against Morgan State. She also added 14 kills and 11 digs against New Mexico.
And senior offensive lineman Wayne Tribune was one of the 22 student athletes named to the American Football Coaches Association Good Works team. Tribune earned this honor by being an active member of the community. He has mentored children both at home and abroad, played piano for hospital patients, and even donated bone marrow to cancer patients. Makes me feel as though I've done nothing with my life.
Well, Noelle, you really haven't. That about wraps up this edition of OwlSports. For Noelle Roby and the rest of the crew, I'm Kyle Fisher.
Remember, you can follow the Owls 24/7 on OwlSports.com. Have a great one.